The law should apply equally to all people and without exception.
If you wanna stay with me, if you wanna be with me.
Hi there. It seems that today the lessons of history have not been learned, and a great many believe that collectivism, i.e. the group being more important than the individual, or socialism, i.e. the state ownership of everything, is something greatly to aspire to. Conveniently forgetting the fruits of socialism experienced during the 1940s and on display in countries like Russia, Cuba, China and the like before the fall of the Iron Curtain and growing influence of the Free West. As all humans are equally important, it logically follows that each of us individually should have equal rights. The law should apply equally to all people and without exception. No collective should be allowed to reduce this principal equality by force. And therefore there are 5 fundamental rights that are not granted by anyone by the action of government legislature, but are simply inherent in human life and come courtesy of our Creator. In other words, they are already yours until they are taken away. So let's have a look at what these are. Number 1, it's the right to life itself. It seems almost too crazy to need to express these separately, but unfortunately there are many who think that someone's convenience is more important than human life. All humans have the right to live and have this right protected. Each of us have our own potential, our own unique capabilities and individual mind. No human life is more important than another, and once that life begins, it should be protected. Life cannot be granted to us, it can only be taken away by force. Number 2, the right to think freely. Part of being human is our ability to contemplate and consider our thoughts about various matters. It seems to be universally agreed that mind control is not acceptable and that we should be free to make our own choices. We should protect our ability to think freely. It can only be curtailed or taken away by force. So number 3, it's the right to express oneself freely. One cannot live without expression. We go to great lengths to learn to express our thoughts, our emotions through speech, art and work. It is everyone's right to use their voice and to speak through various means. Limiting expression involuntary can only be done by force, and no voice should have more or less rights than any other. Number 4, it's the right to travel freely. All humans have the ability to move about and travel from one place to another. Any unnecessary, involuntary restriction amounts to imprisonment and therefore an act of aggression and is not acceptable. People must be free to move about on their own or on public property. And the last one, number 5, is the right to own property. Since we have the ability to create, we must be able to own and have control over that which we create. We must also be able to trade or sell our own creations. Therefore, private property rights are a fundamental element of human action. And since these 5 fundamental rights apply to all persons equally and without exception, they automatically require an absence of coercion of any form. Coercion diminishes the ability of another to enact these liberties, and these should only be voluntarily relinquished. Any legislation that does not support these rights can therefore only act to reduce them. And by extension then, all should also have the right to defend and protect ourselves and our property against external forces in order to stay safe, remain free from coercion, aggression and tyranny. It is by protecting these rights of each and all individuals' liberty that the collective can benefit and express itself freely. In other words, it is by protecting the individuals that society is protected as a whole and not the other way around. Because society is a collective of individuals. If it is controlled by a central group with disproportionate rights, inequality will be the result and freedom will disappear but for the mighty few.